Hey everybody, and welcome to Q&A Wednesday, where I answer the questions that seem to be really common, especially at the moment, which of course right now we are talking primarily, at least everybody is, about COVID-19. So, what I find really fascinating is we're so worried about being contaminated with it, but nobody's talking about the fact that a lot of the people that are being tested for it and test positive for it actually have no symptoms and are really not being affected too much by it. And of course, the people that seem to be having the biggest issues with it tend to have respiratory situations where they're at a little bit of a disadvantage. It tends to be a little bit more in the way of older people. And so let's talk about a little bit about your immune system and how it can play a huge role in either preventing you from even getting the virus, or if you do, what your body's going to do about it. Because I find it really fascinating that we're really not focused on what you can do, what you can control, besides going down and emptying all of our stores of toilet paper, which I find really stupid, you guys. So let's talk about how to boost your immune system. I know I've been talking about it since I got back into town, because I feel like, again, it's the one thing that you have control over, that you can do something about. And I find that because of the way that the majority of Americans eat, this standard American diet, we have a problem with our immune system. A lot of us, I find it really fascinating that since I really focused on healthy eating and started becoming healthy almost 10 years ago, that I really don't get sick very often. And when I do, it's primarily because I tend to really have a hard time stopping and allowing myself to rest. So a lot of times when I overdo it, that's when my body finally goes, you know what, I'm not gonna help you with this. And that's when I tend to get sick. So let's talk a little bit about how to avoid that, how to really boost your immune system and what that means for you. Because again, if you're eating a lot of garbage, especially, like I said, I went to the store yesterday and the shelves of the processed food is what's gone. And that really bothers me, because that's not what's going to improve your immune system. When you ingest sugar actually suppresses your immune system for several hours after you eat it. And if you think that, well, I don't have a sweet tooth, I don't eat sugar, but yet you're downing the bread and chips. Yeah, let's just say it's the same thing, right? It just turns to sugar immediately in your system. So I know that there's kind of a disconnect there when people think carbs. There's a real weird sense of what is a carb. But, there's healthy carbs. Quality really does matter. And then, of course, there's processed food, and that's a totally different ballgame. So let's start by the basics, the things that most of us hopefully are doing to really try to avoid, contact with it. Obviously, washing your hands, which, again, some of this is just common sense. It takes something like this for us to realize, oh my gosh, I should be a clean person. It's just really fascinating. Wash your hands. Hand sanitizer is great. Obviously when you're coming in contact with other people, really what we're being asked to do right now is to that social distance ourselves from other people, where, there's an upside and a downside to that. Hopefully you're taking advantage of the situation and really spending time on what's important, which is your family. And of course, in this day and age, we have so many ways to communicate with each other that we're not really talking in person half the time anyway. We're all on our cell phones. So again, really, you can look at this as a really bad thing, or you can look and see that there really is a positive upside to it. And I really choose to kind of see the positive side to it, where although I'm really frustrated that I can't do my job, there's a lot of other things I can do. And so I'm actually okay with that. So other things, though, that you can do to really help support your immune system. We are going to talk about food and supplements in just a minute. But let's just start with the basics, you guys. Get enough sleep. Sleep trumps everything, because that is when your body resets itself. It recovers. There's a lot of things that happen. There's proteins that your body needs to break down so that they don't cause some issues with disease and things like that. I've talked about this on other Facebook Lives, but again, it's just important to revisit that you need to be getting enough rest, enough sleep. Other things that are going to be really important is, obviously, guys, if you smoke, I know, and no judgment, but really that is, they even say that in this particular situation, people that smoke are really kind of at a disadvantage, because that really does cause some respiratory issues, especially, and since this is a respiratory virus, there's going to be some issues there. Eat fruits and vegetables. You guys, I'm fascinated with what people think is healthy. It really comes down to eat clean. Food that doesn't have labels. If it has a food label on it, it probably is a processed food. When it comes to clean proteins and fruits and vegetables, those don't come with a label. because that's all it is. A cucumber is a cucumber. There's not 5 or 6 ingredients involved in that. But it has amazing nutrients and vitamins and things that will help support your immune system. And we're going to delve into that a little bit deeper here in a minute. But again, that's probably one of the best things that you can do is lay off the sugar, the alcohol, even the sugar substitutes. Some of those sugar alcohols can really affect your microbiome, which is where a good portion of your immune system exists. So, if you can start cutting out that, all those things, alcohol, you're going to give yourself some extra benefits there because, again, it's going to help your immune system all the way around. And really, really avoid nutritional deficiencies. Now, I'm a firm believer that you should get the majority of your nutrition and your minerals and vitamins from food, because while you can get them in supplements, realize that that is a synthetic version of what you should be eating, and your body works best with the real thing. Your body was designed to break down food and turn it into the building blocks of what it needs. So if you're eating the fresh fruits, the fresh vegetables, and the proteins, there's a lot that comes with some of the things I'm going to talk about today. One of the main ways to get them is through animal proteins. I'm sorry, guys. I know vegans and vegetarians are probably yelling at me at the moment, but I also know that they know how to supplement better for that. But even people who think that they're eating healthy, a lot of times you're not getting all of the nutrients that you need. So nutritional deficiencies can play a huge role when it comes to not having a really great immune system. So things that really do help, the vitamins that you really do need for your immune system. And again, food, it comes from food. But zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A, selenium, some of the B vitamins, including B6, B9, B12, and iron. So there's a combination of those. Again, if you're deficient in any of those, it really, each of those do different things. And I'm not going to get too far into it. I did a little bit of research as to how each of those play a specific role in your body and help support your immune system. And if you want more information on that, we can do that in another video. But all of those, whether they actually support cell health, help your immune system, are part of the enzyme reactions, they all play a really huge role in building your immune system and keeping it functional. So that's kind of the start of it, is making sure that you're not nutrient deficient. And most of us, honestly, even if we're eating really healthy, we're not always getting everything that we need. So, it really is important to get a good variety as well of foods, just to make sure that you are getting enough of each of the vitamins. Now, when I work with people with nutrition, I usually give them a sample meal plan that has just one day's worth of stuff. And yeah, you can eat that every day, but my goal for them is to learn how to swap things in and out using my Fitness Pal and get a variety of foods, but just to pay more attention. So part of that is learning how that works. But as long as you stay with pretty healthy, clean foods, it's really not that hard. So that's a really great way to do that. And of course, we're going to have to do a little bit of supplementation. We're going to talk about that in a second. But really, if you can get a good variety of healthy, clean foods, probably the best way I've learned to describe healthy, clean foods is if you can't grow it or kill it, you probably shouldn't be eating it. And if it has more than a couple of ingredients on it, it's a processed food. That's all I can say about that. So part of that is also making sure that you're getting not just those nutrients or those vitamins, but also making sure that you have really great gut health, because a good portion of your immune system comes from your microbiome, which is technically your intestines, right? Because that's where your body absorbs foods and nutrients, is in your large intestine. So if you have the healthy bacteria doing a great job, it's going to help support you in what you're trying to do, which of course right now is to avoid getting sick. So part of that is probiotics and prebiotics. And I do believe I talked about this not too long ago, but just to kind of give you an overview and a memory of what we were talking about. So probiotics are the live bacteria in your gut that are healthy and helpful. They help to break down the nutrients and absorb the nutrients that you're eating. And so it helps to repopulate your good bacteria. So if you get those in certain foods like fermented foods, kefir, yogurt, cottage cheese, cheddar cheese, sauerkraut, kombucha. Be careful of the sugars. Pickled veggies, kimchi, miso, and tempeh. So again, you just make sure, or you can get them in a supplement. I really don't care. It just has to, there's certain things that you want to follow, like there's a certain amount that you want in them, but those do help repopulate the good bacteria in your system. Now, if you have had a history of a lot of antibiotics, this one is super, super, super important, because not only do the antibiotics kill the bad bacteria, they also kill the good bacteria, which is what we actually want to retain and keep. So, I've had clients in the past which really, they struggle to lose weight. And one of the things sometimes I discover is that they've had quite a bit of a history of antibiotics, and we have to really work on repopulating that. Now, once that's done, prebiotics, which is different, is necessary also to help feed those bacteria, and that comes in the form of certain fibers. Now, of course, fiber is primarily in fruits and vegetables, which is good options. You can get them in other ways, but that is primarily your best bet. So just to kind of give you a heads up on that, to make sure that you're doing the right thing, to really, it really comes down to, like I said, your immune system is only as good as the foods that you eat. So if you're eating garbage, you're going to have kind of a garbage immune system, and that is not what we're looking for, especially with the scare that we're having right now. Okay, so really quickly want to talk about another couple supplements. Obviously, we can get some of those vitamins that we need from supplements, but you want to make sure you're getting something that's actually worthwhile. If you're taking a multivitamin, first of all, guys, if you are taking a multivitamin that's worth anything, it's going to be more than one pill. It's not going to be a pressed pill because your body does not absorb much of that. It's usually going to be some sort of a capsule, and it's going to be more than one pill. So it's going to be 4 to 5 pills in a pack. I know that they're really hard to find. Costco used to carry a really decent one, and then like everything else that I like from Costco, they just quit making it. So there's a couple of options that I can usually suggest, but I use one every day just because even though I eat really well, I know I don't get everything that I need. So taking a good multivitamin, and it should be made from superfoods, or it's really not giving you the best bang for your buck. But the other one that's really good that I've just learned through the years, my mother-in-law told me about this a long time ago, is echinacea, which is a plant that actually has some medicinal properties. And one of the biggest things, we've always used it because it helps boost the immune system. Now, it comes in multiple forms. You can get it in a tincture, which is what I prefer. You can get it in pills. You can get it in capsules. You can also get it in a tea. So, there's different ways to get that, but that's something, might not be a bad option to be drinking some echinacea tea right now, to just kind of help boost your natural immune system. But that's really, so one of the things that it talks about, it helps fight the flu. Do I need to say that again? It also helps control blood sugar, has antiviral properties. It aids in healthy cell growth, helps lower blood pressure, and reduces inflammation. So again, I don't see a downside to that. Anything that we can do to help support what we're trying to accomplish right now, which is stay healthy. So if you take anything away from this, like I said, I know that everybody's freaking out. Please don't panic. That's what's pretty much causing the biggest issue, is everybody's just scared, and I get it. There's some uncertainty there. A lot of us we're not able to work right now. All the gyms in our town for the most part are shut down, so it really kind of leaves those of us in the health industry really kind of scrambling to figure out what to do. So of course my job right now is just to educate you, but really it comes down to just make good choices, have some common sense, look at the bright side. Like I said, we're not even to the point where we've had as many deaths as the regular seasonal flu and cold season. So, just be smart about what we're trying to accomplish. Stay home if you need to, if you have any sort of symptoms. Again, this is common sense. So I'm not quite sure why we're having such major issues from it. But, all I want for you is to be healthy and happy, spend some time with your family. And just support each other, because again, this is a global crisis, and so there's a way to be kind. Let's just do the right thing. So stay well, you guys. If you have any questions, I don't know everything. I'm just trying to help you to do just the things that you do have a little bit of control over, so that you can feel better about the situation and feel like you're being proactive about really keeping healthy for your family. So have an incredible week, you guys. There will be Meals with Melissa this weekend, as long as we're not quarantined to our houses and I can get to the store, because I love coming up with great ideas. I've been finding some really fun things to work with lately. So have an incredible week, you guys. We'll see you soon. Stay well.